I'm Juliet Maguire and welcome to another episode of How to Buy a Used Car, which is exclusive to Cars.co.za's YouTube channel. Now I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to buy a Suzuki Jimny? I'm going to guess that the answer is yes, because who hasn't? The Suzuki is so cute. I mean, saying a Jimny isn't cute is like, I don't know, saying puppies aren't cute. Like, who says that? But standing next to it, gosh, you realize how small it is. But that was because it was built to specification in Japan. It couldn't be longer than 3.4 meters, but it could be up to 2 meters high. And so the box-like Kai car came about. And the Jimny was the one that was exported to South Africa.
What's the car with Cars.co.za? Bow down to Lerato. Her car is the most luxurious lady you'll see today. After her, of course. Now think of a car. Any car. Yes, we have it. Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.
As much as I want to tell you a very cool personal story about, myself and the third gen Jimny, it's actually going to go back to my childhood and the second gen Jimny, because there were a few very cool peeps back in the day who imported them. And I'm just going to say that that car may or may not have started my love affair for surfers and surfing, but mostly surfers. But this third generation is really what changed the game for everybody. No longer did you have to import a Jimny. That's because Suzuki Global decided that Suzuki Auto South Africa would become a wholly owned subsidiary in 2008, which is when the third gen was launched here. Now this is a 2011 Jimny and it's got 23,000 Ks on the clock. It is like the perfect example of a pre-owned Jimny. The great thing about this generation Jimny is that it's got an almost like cult-like following. And not just surfer groupies like me, mind you. It is loved by everybody. And besides being cute, it's actually really adaptable. But what that means is that it is very difficult to sometimes find a very clean and unmodified Jimny. But I'm going to kick off now with the product strengths because, well, there are a few. But I'm going to mention just two, okay? Number one is off-road capability. I mean, it goes without saying just how capable this is. It can go up against a Land Cruiser or a Land Rover Defender and honestly hold its own. I mean, you might bounce around a bit inside because of the tiny wheelbase, but it's going to get the job done and in a cheap and cheerful way. Number two, reliability. On all accounts, the Jimny is really reliable, even when you consider it's had quite a hard life compared to, say, a road car. Even the high mileage Jimnys are really good. If they've been well maintained and serviced, you're going to probably have very few problems. And when you consider that there's no turbocharger, that also means less problems. Just another reason to consider this as a used car. As with all the videos, I have to list the weaknesses, but this I've only got 3. Number one is fuel consumption. Although it's got a 1.3 litre engine that has 63 kilowatts of power and 110 newton meters of torque, unfortunately, it still has a very, very high fuel consumption. Most customers claim between 9 and 10 litres per 100 Ks, and if you're going to go over 100 kilometers per hour, then you're going to see a much higher reading, unfortunately. Now, number 2 is slow runner. Okay, I think we all maybe know it, but it is a slow car. If you're going under 80 Ks per hour, you're absolutely fine and you're going to be comfortable. If you go over 100 kilometers per hour or try and hit that national speed limit, you're going to start like shuddering and it starts to become a little bit maybe rattly and uncomfortable. Now, I've always said that this is the sort of car that you want at your holiday house already. You don't want to have to drive it there. But if you're going to be overlanding and adventuring, it might not bother you. Just maybe don't take it on the highway. Number 3, space. I'm going to demonstrate how much space, or lack thereof, there is back here. So, Cal, there we go. Okay, let's close this up so that you can really see. Okay, yep. Can you see how crimped it is back here? And I'm not exactly a big person. So the back here is pretty much not for humans, I'd say. In fact, you'd be better off just putting these back seats down completely and opening it up for a bigger boot, because with these up, there is no boot whatsoever. You can't even get like a Checkers packet back there. So this is really just for those empty nesters or those adventurous singles. It's not going to work as a family car. Okay, I needed some help to get out of there, but now we're back inside. And I want to chat about what to look for when you're wanting to buy one. Now, of course, it's an off-roader, so be sure to get underneath and check for any damage. And of course, while you're under there, look for rust. The other thing is when you're test driving, go over 80 kilometers per hour and check for those shudders and those rattles. It could just be fixed by wheel balance or tire pressure, but it might require bigger repairs, such as replacing the kingpin bearing or the wheel bearings, or actually fitting an aftermarket steering damping kit. Then, of course, what you must do when you're test driving is press the button operated four-wheel drive, because you need to see whether it can go into high or low, because if it doesn't, what would be the point in having a Jimny that doesn't go off-road? That would be useless. And then check that it's got a full service history and that it's been well maintained. Get yourself a mechanic who can check the mechanical integrity of this car before buying one. Pause the video now, because we have done a comparison for you with third-party servicing parts to that of the manufacturer. So you're going to want all those details. Due to the popularity of this third generation Jimny, it retains its value very, very well, and demand is high for a clean, unmodified Jimny. Now, if you're going to pay around 250,000 and above, you'll find one with low mileage. But if you're looking at sort of 200,000 kilometers and above, well, then you're going to be looking at like 100,000 Rand and above. Now, Cars.co.za currently has 68 listed on the website. So I'm going to put a link to that stock in the description below. So you need to know what you're buying this car for, right? That's it. Is it, because you're a surfer or a surfer lover? But, basically, if you're an adventure, overlander, single, don't need space, this is the car that's going to get you anywhere. But if you've got family, if you need space, even if you've got massive dogs, just consider that this is not maybe a big family car. I'm Juliet McGuire, and thank you for watching another episode of How to Buy a Used Car. There'll be more episodes coming your way exclusive to Cars.co.za's YouTube channel.
Think of a car, any car. Yes, Cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you.